Aya.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we are excited to be here. Yeah, as you all know, we are here today to talk about ChatGPT, the elusive, mysterious ChatGPT, and how you can make the most of it in your day to day. So can you guys see my screen? Can I get like a
Yeah,
Sinead, can
it's
you
all
see my
looking good.
screen? Thumbs up in the
Uh-huh.
chat, whatever. Awesome, great. All right. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of background here on kind of like what ChatGPT is, and kind of some best practices for how you can like get the best answers before we dive into some of the prompts that we teased in the little webinar description. So getting started, ChatGPT, the best way to think about ChatGPT is like a smart and friendly robot that knows everything on the internet, pretty much, that you can talk to through text. Yeah, it's like having a conversation with a knowledgeable friend who knows a lot about many topics, but haha, important caveat, like our knowledgeable friends, they still need to be fact checked. So if it's if you're talking to ChatGPT for some high stakes stuff and you're not like the expert on the topic, make sure that you do a little extra digging to make sure that everything it says is correct. So how does ChatGPT work? So it understands your words. So when we type things in, it reads and understands, and it's pretty advanced and complex in the way that it understands language and how words and concepts fit together conversationally. So, like, for example, sometimes I'll be using ChatGPT for work stuff, and it'll give me an answer. And I'm like, yeah, I like the bones of the answer, but try again and be a little less or do a little more. Like, I can be that vague and it will give me, an answer that fits that vague description. And so it understands like idioms and things like that. Um, and so once we type a question into ChatGPT, it'll do some thinking about the best way to respond. And so it'll kind of scan its whole big brain with all its information and examples from books and websites to come up with a helpful answer. And then it gives a response back to you just how a person would reply in a chat. Um, so, I mean, really, there's so many different ways you can use ChatGPT, from some of the more like work-oriented stuff that we'll talk about today, but also like sometimes I use ChatGPT for meal planning, or like for like recipe ideas or like simple stuff like that. So, if you're ever feeling, or also I do a lot of writing in my day to day, and sometimes there's nothing more intimidating than a blank page. So sometimes I just will type into ChatGPT some kind of like prompts to get me started and then go from there. Does anybody have any, if anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat along the way and somebody will stop me and we can address it. So next, effective prompt asking. So effective prompts are the key to producing helpful outputs. And I'm going to give you kind of like the main helpful way to help ChatGPT help you. um, so you can customize your ChatGPT in your settings. Um, and oh, sorry, as an aside, I should have mentioned this first. But this little like handout that I'm speaking from right now, it also has like the prompts and all the things we're going to go through today. And at the end of the webinar, a link to this sheet, this one sheeter for you guys will be included in the follow-up email. So don't feel like if you're taking notes or something, you'll get all this information after the fact. So don't worry about bouncing between notes and listening. But back to customizing ChatGPT. So can you guys see my ChatGPT interface now?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you. Um, So to customize your ChatGPT, which you can do this whether you have a free version or a paid version, everything we're going to go through today you can do on the free version. So you will go to Customize ChatGPT. And so I will read through how I customized my ChatGPT just for an example for you guys to see kind of what I mean. So your custom instructions, you tell ChatGPT what you would like it to know about you to provide better responses. Since I use ChatGPT mostly for work, I let it know I mostly use this account for work. I'm the marketing manager for a tech startup called OfferingTree. We offer an all-in-one business management solution for two fours, wellness businesses of all kinds, from solar entrepreneurs to multi-location studios. We support it all. Solutions include website building and hosting, booking and payment, on-demand video hosting, online stores, memberships and packages, sales page builder, lead generation, a contact management system, analytics and reporting, and a full suite of marketing tools, including email, automation, SEO, blogging. Finally, we just released a client app. We were founded by wellness professionals who wanted to see a better solution for the studios they worked in themselves. And those people still work on our team, and we are a big into customer-centric marketing and product guidance. Our voice is friendly, knowledgeable, and fairly casual. And then there's another option. How would you like ChatGPT to respond? And so I always I opt for a friendly, knowledgeable, but fairly casual manner. So yeah, that's a great way to get ChatGPT on the same page as you before you even kind of ask it anything. Okay, awesome. And I included the example of my custom description in the handout that you guys will get, just so in case you need some inspiration or something. So after you customize your ChatGPT, here are some additional ways that you can really get the most out of the prompts. So be clear and specific. So instead of saying, help me with my marketing strategy, you can say, give me a strategy for my marketing strategy for my yoga business that speaks to my potential audience of people who are new to yoga and may be scared of trying a class for the first time. Please give me a strong call to action that will resonate with this audience. My main platforms are email and Instagram. So essentially, if you're not ready to be that specific when you type in a prompt, that's okay. But the main point here is just to know that the more specific you are, the better the response you'll get. So along with that, give a little context if you want to. So for example, you can say, I've been struggling to get traction with my social media marketing efforts. I need help fine-tuning X, Y, and Z. Maybe your messaging and your post content or something like that. And then also using complete sentences. So, simple things. I think we're used to typing in keywords or little bits of things when we type things into Google. But when you type things into ChatGPT, you want to, instead of just course descriptions, how can I improve my course descriptions? And this next bit of advice is just one of my personal beliefs. Just in case someday AI takes over, we never know what's going to happen. I like to be polite so we can stay in its good graces. And then finally, the last piece of advice. So if you need information for a specific reason, make sure to state that. So and we'll see this when we get down to some of the live options we'll go through, but I need to create a 30-day content calendar for my Instagram that reflects my current style and grows my audience. So, kind of, you can see that all of these statements are centered around being as specific as possible, essentially. So, yeah. So the next thing we're going to do is dive into the actual prompts and ways that you guys can simplify some of the more tedious tasks in your day. And so we sent out a poll that some people participated in for kind of what people would like to hear about specifically for prompts today. And we heard a lot of things about, so creating class descriptions and online bios was one that we heard a lot about. And we actually have some super helpful templates for doing that in ChatGPT. And so we'll share the, rather than spending time on that today, because it's pretty straightforward, we'll just share those links with you guys. And then, so that you just have that for yourself. So the next few things, if you guys want to vote by entering in the chat, what we should start with, vote with number 1, 2, or 3. Number 1 will be for generating social media content calendars for 30 days. Number 2, we'll start with automated email sequences. And then number 3, we would start with landing pages. Ideally, we'll get to all 3 of these today, but just in case, I want to make sure that we prioritize what everybody here would like to see.
Okay, so we're seeing a lot of 1s and 2s, a couple of 3s. I would say 1 is probably prevalent right now. So how about we start there?
Sweet. Well, yeah, let's just dive in. Maybe we can get to all 3 if I stop wasting time. Okay. Awesome. So, we will. So, this one, I think it'll be easiest to do this one as an example for OfferingTree. For some of the other ones we'll kind of pull in the crowd through the chat to see if anybody has any things they want to, or if anybody, to use your use case as an example. But for this one, because it's kind of so specific and there's so many questions and we can't like interact face to face, we'll do OfferingTree for the example for this social media content calendar. But yeah, so let's get started. So I literally will just copy and paste this step 1, copy, paste. All right. So what I asked it, can you help me fill out my social media content calendar for the next 30 days? I'll give you some information about my business, the platform I'd like to create content for, and the types of posts I'd like to see on the calendar. Can we do this together? Okay, here we go. Oops, I have too many tabs open. All right, so step 2 will provide detailed information about updates or specials coming up that you want to highlight. Share a link to your website for ChatGPT to check out. All right, so my website is OfferingTree.com. In the next month, we have a webinar on October 29th with Francesca Cervero. Oops. We also have one on October 3rd. Alternative balance, and another one on October 29th with Francesca Cervero. And why do I keep doing that? Here we go. Tell it which platforms we're focusing on. I would like to focus on content for Instagram. What's next? Explain the types of posts you want included, that being promotional for your business, educational, testimonials, behind the scenes. I think I would like some of each. So I will say, I would like to see the following types of posts in the calendar. How often do I want to post? We usually post. I would like you to create 3 posts per week. Consider static posts, reels, carousels, etc. Any specific events, holidays, or promotions? I mentioned our webinars. Awesome. So I'm going to copy and paste this just so, or I'm going to copy that. I'll let ChatGPT think a little bit. Its memory's been updated. While I do that, I'm just going to put this example. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right. 30-day Instagram content calendar focused on the upcoming webinars, balancing promotional, educational, testimonials. So we have week 1. We have week 2. We have week 3. And here comes week 4. And week 5. Ooh, taking us right into November. Okay. Sweet. Now, great. Thank you. There's my politeness being added in there to make sure that ChatGPT keeps us in its good graces, just in case. Okay, so now for step 3, can you organize the content calendar you just provided in list format? Yes, Susan, you will certainly get these items. So then we'll say, great, thank you. Can you organize the content calendar you just provided in a list format into a table with columns labeled date, post idea, post time, post caption, post hashtags, suggested images, then fill them in accordingly for the month. So here we go. I'm a big fan of spreadsheets. So if list format works better for you, feel free to just keep the list format, but Sinead can attest. I'm a spreadsheet fanatic. So
I actually just learned something here, Alaina, because I didn't realize that you could ask it to put it in a table format. So that
yes.
will save me time. So I've got like 3 different Chrome profiles and 3 different ChatGPTs. I have one for my yoga business, one for my OfferingTree work, and one for personal. And in my yoga business, I even got it to outline an 8-week workshop I was doing to give me topics for what to cover in each one. So it's
Nice.
pretty handy. I use it a lot now, even for meal planning for my kids, which they still refuse to eat, but at least I don't have to come up with the ideas myself as much.
Oh,
Oh,
I
what's
don't know what
happening?
I just pressed to see what it was. Oh, here we go. Okay, okay. All right. So then we'll download this so that we can look at it in a better format. Here we go. Well, actually, perhaps let me, whoops. Make this bigger so that maybe we can just see everything we need to see here. Okay, yeah, this works. Okay. So, and of course, so like for as far as like post times go, it's basing these times recommended to post off of like general best practices. I recognize that. So if you've noticed that for you personally, like you get better engagement if you post at different times, just give that feedback to ChatGPT and say, oh, actually, these are the times that I find are best to post for my business. Can you make those changes? And then it'll do that. It'll reflect that back to you. So yeah, as we can see here for the post idea, it gives us kind of, the general idea for the post, post time, the post caption. And it cuts off some of the text a little bit, but if you double click or if you open it up in the Excel file, you'll be able to see the full text. And then recommended post hashtags, and then a suggested post image, which sometimes the post images can be, some of them are better recommendations than others. But it's always good to at least kind of like have a jumping off point. And I think that is everything, oops, that we asked it to do.
So
So then,
Carrie has
yeah.
just asked Alaina, how do you print out the answers that ChatGPT gives you? Now, you have a paid account, don't you? I have a free one. I wonder if, I'm not sure, I can download the answers, but you have a little download link. So maybe that's it. I just copy and paste.
Yes, I do have a download link. However, I do believe that, let's see. Oh, it just gave me a link. That's fun. Okay. I wonder if you can. Sinead, do you know if on your version, if there's ever like a little checkbox where then you have, it seems like everything is copied then, so you can just like, or wait, no,
No.
actually, one way to do this, that's it, copy. So you can on all chat
Oh, I
GPT
do have
models, that
that.
might have been hard to see. You
Yeah.
can have your answer read aloud to you. You can like the response so that chat GPT kind of knows, hey, I did a good job. You can dislike the response. Or you can copy. And that is also on the free version, that copy option. So then once you copy, then you can go over into like an Excel sheet or a Google sheet or whatever your preferred sheet is, and then just paste it in there, and then everything will just show up pasted into that sheet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Carrie's saying she has the free one too, but when I write it out, it comes out looking weird, so I have to print it out one page after another. That is frustrating.
I wonder if you could ask it to format it into a, did you ask it to format it into a table?
Yeah, that might help. Yeah, Carrie's saying no, never tried that. Like, maybe that would help.
Yes, that probably will definitely help if you ask it to format it into a table. Um, again, that would seem to be like the most intuitive way to simply give you the answer, but alas, again, the more specific, yes, the more specific we are with ChatGPT and exactly how we want to see the results is will make a big difference. So yeah, ask it to format those into a table. And also, before you ask it, Carrie, to format it into a table, make sure to say like, have the columns labeled like date, post idea, post, or whatever you're going to have in the table. Make sure to let it know like what you want the columns to be named. So then it really formats it super properly for you. Okay. Yes. All right. So let me see. I will go here. I will go here. I will go sheets.new. And I will copy and paste. Okay. And then I will say, boop, boop, boop. All right. So then here we have kind of a rough content calendar. So does anybody have any questions they want to share in the chat about this before we talk about anything else?
Nothing's coming in just yet. I love this. I love the detail that it can give you for guiding the posts. Social media is my bugbear for my yoga business. It's always the last thing I have on my list.
Oh my
to
gosh, I
advertise and
know for
market
me,
courses.
especially as a marketing professional, it's probably like taboo for me to admit this, but I despise creating content for social media. It's just not my favorite thing to do whatsoever. Rochelle, so it doesn't share it on the platforms for you. It doesn't share it on the platforms for you. So you'll have to schedule it, but it gives you like a spreadsheet of your ideas and kind of like a content calendar to work from. Yeah. Maybe the next
Michelle's saying
iteration
good
of
enough.
ChatGPT will take it one step further for us. Awesome. All righty. So, and then just to mention, so yeah, you can, if anything that it had like spit out in here, like I said before, like post times, or if you want to try asking it to like massage some of the captions, or like if you want to say like, oh, could you be a little more specific about like the suggested post images, and try that one more time, it will do that. If there's any context you want to give it, or if you just want it to, hey, do better, you can be as vague as that, and it just might. So, yeah, always keep that in mind. If you're not like pleased with the first go around, you can always tell it, do it again, but think about this or that or the other thing, whatever you weren't impressed by. And then you will see that reflected. So always keep that in mind. All right. So I think after our first filling out your social media content calendar for the next month, the next request was generating email content for an automation sequence. So we shall dive in. Sinead, stop me if there's any like questions or anything or any comments. I have the chat is hidden so that I can see my whole screen right now.
Yeah.
So I want to really quickly discuss before we dive into actually generating the email content for an automation sequence. I just want to get everybody on the same page and make sure we all know like kind of the different purposes or different types of automation sequences that we can ask ChatGPT to help us with. So there are things we could do a promotional automation sequence. So like if somebody has like a class or a workshop, or Sinead, your online course coming up, and you want to send a promotional sequence, you can do that. Or if you want to do a nurture sequence that will go to your existing clients or customers, that just kind of like feeds them good information going forward, that just kind of keeps them engaged and keeps you in the back of their mind. We can do a nurture sequence. There's also like a welcome sequence. So after somebody does their first class with you, then you can create an automation that like after they're done with that class, they will be entered into an automation that will say, oh, thank you for coming to class, blah, blah, blah. And then, you can have a few follow-up emails that prompt them to like, schedule their next class, or like, did you know we have like 5 class packs, 10 class packs if you want to try a few more. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways that you can kind of like make the most of an automation sequence. Or if you haven't seen somebody in a while, you can also do an automation sequence that, sends out to all the people who have, been to 3 or more classes, but haven't been into your studio in the last month or 2 months, or, all your members who haven't been in the last month. You can do a little, hey, we miss you, it's been a while kind of sequence, that prompts them to come back in sometime soon. So with that, I can, again, here we can either just do an example based on like an OfferingTree, something for OfferingTree, or if anybody in the crowd would like to type in exactly like a type of sequence, an automation sequence that they've been struggling to create, and give us a little bit of information about your business, or just, you would just actually need to give us your business website, and who we're going to talk to, and then we'll go from there.
So Angela's just saying in the chat, hi Angela, how about a sequence for regular students when we are on vacation? So I'm thinking something that's going to feed in while classes are closed. Is that what you're thinking, Angela? Something that's going to keep them engaged? Cool. Yes, Angela's saying yes. Anybody else got any requests? Kathy is saying, is that ChatGPT or does your software? No, this is ChatGPT. This isn't the OfferingTree software, although I can show you the automation in the OfferingTree software as we build that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, ChatGPT is independent. It's just through its own account, but free. But you can get the paid account, and I know you use the paid account, Alaina, but I use free, and it's turned into my new bestie. Like, if there's somebody on the other end of it trying to find out about my life, they know everything at this stage.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Kathy has a paid account. Awesome.
Oh, right on. Awesome. Okay, so our first request was when we were on a vacation. So Angela, could you
maybe share your website?
Oh yes, could you get us your website URL?
If you're comfortable sharing it. If you'd rather not share it, Angela, I can share mine.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Oh, that's it. trueyogi.org.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Is a date range. Let's say October 14th to October 28th. October 14th, 2024 to October 28th, 2024. Ooh. We'll make it bold just for fun. All right, and the purpose of the sequence is to nurture my students, my existing students.
Angela was just saying she's brand new to all this. I've only been using it about 4 months. It grows on you very quickly.
All right. So as I personalized this prompt for Angela, I said, I'm creating a series of emails for an automation sequence. The automation trigger, and for, again, if you're new to automations, this will probably be a new concept. In order for an email automation to be triggered to start, something has to happen. There has to be a thing or action or something that will kick it off and get the people that you want to be in the automation for it to kick off to them. So this one, Angela, is pretty actually simple. The automation trigger is simply a date range. So we'll say it'll starting on October 14th, 2024 and ending on October 28th, 2024. And the purpose of the sequence is to nurture my existing students while I am gone on vacation for the dates given. I will give you some additional context about my business and what I do. Then I will give you some context about the audience the email should speak to. Please wait for more directions. Okay. Copy, copy, copy. Paste, paste, paste. All righty. So I'm going to insert the link to the website. Here is my website. Whoops, that was not my website. Copy. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. Here's my website. And so, Angela, if you are still available to type in the chat, is there anything that you would like to highlight about your business specifically while you're out on vacation that you want your customers or your existing students to keep in mind? Or would you just kind of like the email sequence to be some content that just keeps you in touch with your students while you're away? perfect. Here is my website. All right. I would simply like you to help me create content for my emails that keeps me in touch with my students while I am away. I don't want them to forget about me. Okay, dokey. All right. So these emails will speak to my existing students. Okay, so Angela, when it comes to like the usual tone that you use when you talk to your students and like kind of like your style, would you say it's kind of casual and friendly, or would you say it's a little more formal? Do you have any guidelines around that for how you would like these emails to talk to your students? Cool. My existing yoga students. Please write in a friendly tone and speak to my existing yoga students and keep them engaged. Please write in a friendly tone. All right, here we go. Here is TTT. And then we will also give that. Okay. And now I will say, wait for more directions before you start writing the emails, please. Perfect. Okay. So now, here with this last one. Okay, now can you please write? So if you're going to be gone for 2 weeks, I would say let's do 4 emails from an automation sequence. Please ensure the emails are sequenced logically, have engaging copy, and my students to return to class when I am back from vacation. All right. Here we go. Yes. Yes, I absolutely will. Yeah. Adrian just asked in the chat if we can please send a copy of this chat transcript after the webinar is complete. And I will for sure do that. So I'll include like the page that I'm working from that has the prompts. And then I will also include this transcript from each of these examples. Yeah. Yes, yes. Awesome. All right. So
that's really cool.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So here we have our 4 emails. The first email, you can see, hi. So depending on your email management system, you can probably like personalize it so that it includes your students' first names when it sends out. If your email management system doesn't have that capability, you can just like ignore that part and say hello. But yeah, so this is the first.
Do you want to throw it over to me and I can do a quick screen share and show this in the OfferingTree site as well, that automation?
Oh, that's a great idea. All right. I'll put this in our little shared document here. Does that work, Sinead?
Let me see. Don't see it in that document.
Oh, that's because I put it in the wrong document, because I have two of almost the same documents open right next to each other. Okay, there we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see it now. Do you want to stop sharing and I'll share my screen?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So let me check that I'm sharing the right screen. Oh yes, because I've got it open on the wrong site. Hang on. 1 second, everybody.
Classic. I always have so many tabs open when I come to share my screen. I'm always like, wait,
So you can see this yoga studio. This is one of our staging sites, so it's not completely designed. So I've gone into the back end, and on the back end of the dashboard, you can see here, you go down to automations. And I just started messing about with this one here, blank automation created today. So I'm just going to open it up. And I added a contact tag in the back end called vacation automation. So this would be our trigger. So the trigger that Alaina talked about, when you add the trigger, these are the kind of options. So if somebody registers, if somebody signs up for your lead magnet, if they're a late cancellation, or a contact tag is added or removed, or they're in a segment, there's all of these different ways that you can set it up. So everybody in there gets a tag. All of your contacts get a tag vacation automation, or you can choose who gets that tag if you don't want it to go to everybody. And then we move down and we add the next step. So they get tagged. You can decide, do you want to, after you've tagged them, maybe you've not gone on vacation yet, so you set it for a 1 week delay. And then you go to the next step, and the next step would be send the first email, and you come in here, your subject. So let me see if I can. Oh gosh, why did that just happen? If I can pull out some of this. Was this our first? No, email one. So I'll just do email one to save time. We can I'll just show you the first one because it's so easy to do. I just did this for my own series as well. No, this window. So that's our subject. And then we just copy and paste in. I'll do this because we've already got the first name is already drawn through there. So yeah, this is a custom field, the hide first name. It will draw everybody's first name in. And there you go, you sign it off. You go down to save it. Yes, contact in automation. And then we save all of this. Let me just shift my screen up, go to done. Okay, and there's the email. And then we move down again, we can add a step and so on and so forth. So do you want to add a delay? How long do you want the delay to be for? Maybe 3 days?
Let's see. ChatGPT said let's 4 days. It would be 4 days.
So you do it for 4 days, and then you pop back down, add a step. Yeah, and send another email and just drop it all in and do whatever you want to do, and then add all those contact tags, and it starts sending off while you're away. It would take you maybe 30 minutes start to finish to get that set up, and then all of your folks are taken care of while you're on vacation. And I love that idea, Angela. I've not thought of doing like that sort of vacation automation as well. That's a really cool idea.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, Alaina, sidetracked you there.
Oh, no, it's all good. So since we just have 12 minutes left and we wanted to have some time for Q&A at the end, Angela, that's a super funny way to put it. She said she's new to the automation sequences, and now she's also new to OfferingTree. She's going through puberty. That's funny. Okay, so while we were working on that email sequence, Doris sent in a question. And now we also we're going to save some time here for additional questions. So if anybody else has questions, feel free to drop them into the chat, and we'll try to get through as many as we can. So Doris wanted me to touch on concerns regarding copyright when using ChatGPT. And that is an excellent point, Doris. So when it comes to the prompts that we had been asking for today, that's funny. Sorry, I was reading the chat while I was talking. What a mistake.
Yes.
So
You carry on,
it,
I'll read the chat.
Sorry, guys. But when it comes to the prompts that we were using today to like create our social media calendars and create email sequences, there's not any worries about copyright there. When it comes to because ChatGPT isn't like looking at people's actual social media posts or people's actual email sequences because it doesn't have that deep of access. So it's not like writing the exact same thing that somebody else has written for an email or writing the exact same thing that somebody else has written for an Instagram post. Instead, it's using like best practices and like and stuff from like across the internet. But now when it comes to one of the examples we didn't get to today, but you all will have everything you need as far as prompts and examples go in the one sheeter that we share after this for creating a landing page. That will be a case where ChatGPT will be reading other content from across the internet and other landing pages from across the internet. And you'll see this in the prompt that I provide. I always make sure for things like that to say, please write this in the tone and style that you see across my website. And you will typically always provide your website for examples when it's going to be for like website copy or any kind of copy. So I always make sure to say, you know, write in the tone and style that you see across my website. And that will help it reflect you more than like somebody else on the internet, if that makes sense. And then always, you can, if you have like a Grammarly is a free tool. That's like a editing, suggesting, yeah, an editing tool, and it's free. And you can like pop the copy into Grammarly if you want. And then there's an option to like check it for plagiarism. And then it'll tell you if you need to do any changing or not. I always do that when I use ChatGPT for these purposes. And I have never had it come up with like a plagiarized example, just so you know. So I've never had any big issues with ChatGPT and plagiarism. But again, you'll see in the prompts that I provide in the one sheeter that I always kind of make sure to steer away from giving it the option to do so. So you don't, Carrie, you don't have to mention in your text that you use ChatGPT for help. Yeah. And my voice sounds like Ellen DeGeneres. Nobody's ever told me that before. That's fun. I think as everybody hates the sound of their own voice, so that's a fun little thing for me to remember the next time I hear my voice recorded, that maybe it sounds like Ellen DeGeneres. But let's see. So Charlene Locker says, I'm not familiar with OfferingTree. Can you tell us a little about it?
I've just dropped the partner link in the chat there for OfferingTree
awesome.
and beYogi as well.
Yes. Awesome. So Charlene, if you want to like check it out through like a free trial, you're more than welcome to do so with that link. But Sinead, would you want to maybe share your screen and show like the back end of that staging site? And we can just, we only have 7 minutes left, so we don't need to do a whole big thing. But maybe just to give a little more context, we could just kind of walk through some of the basic pieces.
Yeah, am I sharing the right screen?
Yes. Yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
so Oh, this is always a scary one. I'm going to discard those changes. So this is the back end of the website. The credit card, ignore that part at the top about the credit card expired. It's because it's staging. So right on your dashboard, this is the main part of the website. You get to see how many people have visited your site in 7 days or 30 days. You can get a quick screenshot of your payments. This is a studio site, I believe. I'll just check in on the subscription. Yeah, this is the studio site. So the solopreneur site, the basic website, the essentials package looks the same. There's just some of the reporting features and a few of the other features that aren't available, like having staff members and stuff like that. But for the most part, the back end is the same. So the dashboard has just a quick snapshot of what's going on. You can easily visit the front end of your site and take a look if you've just made any amendments to it. This is what a little page can look like on there. I put this together quite quickly, so you can do more than this in there, but these are all the different building blocks for the pages that we have. And I'll just show you how easy that is to build. So when you come to edit website and pages, we didn't get to it today, but on a past ChatGPT with our studios, we did build a landing page, and I'm going to open that. So in here, sorry, before I move ahead too quickly, you can edit your homepage, redesign it here, change it out quite easily. You can create a page. We've got page templates already built in. And if I just click on one of these templates, this is something that you could set up as your homepage or as a landing page, as a sales page. If you are a studio and you need an intro offer, or if you're a solopreneur and you want an intro offer, all of these blocks on here are changeable when you go in to edit the template. But it just gives you that first idea of something that you might like to have that looks pretty good on your page. So you can change the color scheme. This color scheme is set up to this specific website. It's really easy to change it. But I'll just move over here and show you from creating a page.
One more quick thing.
Alaina.
In addition to using those templates, just so you know, I mean, I think most of us would rather use a page template, but if you're like really into and proficient in like creating custom things from scratch, you also have the option to just like build a custom page rather than use a template, just so you know.
Yeah. And for people who already have a really nice website and you just want to use part of the OfferingTree software, there's an option for that too. You can copy it, you can paste in any parts of the OfferingTree website. We have a lot of people who use the sort of scheduler. So this was a landing page that we created really quickly using a ChatGPT webinar recently for a studio, where I think ChatGPT had said, create this first page, have a button here to book your first class. And look, you can see, you can add in all the different building blocks here or pre-designed sections that you want. And then you can go in to your pencil and you can edit anything you want. You can make the text bigger or smaller. So it's really functional, and it's been built by wellness professionals for wellness professionals, and the guys in the background want to make this as simple and as functional as they can for the users. That's always been a big part of it. So I don't want to spend too much time going through everything you can do, but there is email marketing. You can send out automated emails like we showed you. You can do the automations, you can send out newsletters, you can do your blogs, you can take payments. Your offerings will be in here where you set up your different offerings. People can register and pay online, and basically it does everything from website all the way through to the back. So if you have any questions at any time about OfferingTree or wanted to learn more, or you've got any feedback, you can contact the team anytime by email at hello@offeringtree.com. All the staff are behind the scenes on that email, and you might even get a response from a co-founder. So if you ever wanted more information, we're right there, and I dropped a link in the chat and we'll share it in the replay as well.